What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we've got a big old reset in Destiny 2 for March the 23rd, and so we've got a few new things to talk about. The arrival of the Proving Ground strike, of course the first brand new strike for the season, and then we also have our weekly quest and story, which appears to be linked to the new activity, so we'll round all of that stuff up. But additionally, we have a new patch for the game today, and this is the Stasis patch that many players have been waiting for. And then we've also got Grandmaster's weekly strike loot, our other activities, vendor rewards, and more to cover for the week. So, as always guys, I hope you enjoy this one, but now, let's get into it. So as we get in the game this week, we do have a milestone for the weekly quest, and we can see that we need to visit the war table in Helm for a mission update. So that's the challenges proving stuff, but we also have the arrival of the Proving Ground strike into the game right here. And we can launch it from the director, but it looks like we'll actually have to head into that strike as part of the weekly quest as well. So bear that in mind, but when we head to the Helm, we do get a bit of a mission update right here from Saladin, and it's safe to say there's going to be more story as we go through the weekly quest right here, as well as heading into the strike, so be sure to pick that up in the Helm. But for the weekly quest which leads us into the strike, it's Challenges Proving 7 this time around, so for a quick preview, it does start out with the typical kind of season weekly quest, so the first step is to pillage Cobalt Gold, of course inside of the usual playlists. The second step requires us to socket a Challenger Medallion into the Hammer of Proving, and then run a Battleground and open the chest at the end of the mission. But following this, we'll have to speak to Zavala in the Tower Courtyard, and then head into the Proving Ground strike aboard Halpha Selectus, which is the huge land tank on Nessus. And following that, we'll return to the Crow at the war table, and then finally a debriefing with Zavala in the tower. So the weekly quest is very much connected to the arrival of the Proving Ground strike. But as always, there are the weekly challenges, the one to complete the weekly quest, and then defeat 100 Cabal with a submachine gun. There's one to finish the new strike, while defeating 150 combatants, and depositing a power core in the undercarriage of the land tank. So those are some mechanics for the new activity. The next challenge is to listen to intercepted transmissions at the radio kiosk in Helm, to defeat 3 or more combatants 10 times with weapons, to acquire the toxicology ornament for Salvage's Salvo, and then to earn 5 Valor ranks inside of the Crucible. However, moving on to other activities, we can see that the Nightfall this week is in the European Dead Zone, and we've got the Arms Dealer, so that'll be the ordeal across all levels, including Grandmasters, which returned last week, and we should be seeing the Shadow Price drop as the featured weapon for the week. And that's on top of all of the Pinnacle rewards that we'll be able to get as well. And now before we look at more activity stuff, for the Eververse store this week, as always, there are a bunch of things featured for silver, but right here on the Bright Dust section on the front page, we've got Ancient Republic, as well as the RJ-SV 9940 Sparrow, and then the Flare Gun emote, and the Neon Helix shell. Then for the main Bright Dust section, we've got the Rising Dawn emote, as well as the Blinding Imagery emote right there. We've also got the Celestial Shell featured, and the Celestial Horn Sparrow. And then we've got the Odre Rear Ship, I'm not sure exactly how we say that, but one you can grab this week, as well as the new ornament for 1000 Voices right there with the kind of Dreaming City theme, so that's pretty awesome. But we've got the Stasis projection, the Daito capsule entrance, the Past Unearthed, and the Vex Invasion effects, and then the Neopop Wave, Amethyst Veil, Deep Sea Jaunt, and Calco's Finery shaders. Of course, the Iron Banner also returns to the game this week, so a bunch of opportunities for Pinnacle gear, of course the 2 new featured Iron Banner weapons. So definitely bear those in mind, as well as the bounties, and opportunities for endgame mods and stuff like that. Nothing too crazy at Banshee right here, but we do have Shotgun Scavenger and Radar Booster for the mods today. Then for featured Lost Sectors for today, we've got K1 Revelation right here at 1300 dropping exotic helmets, and K1 Crew Quarters at 1330 dropping exotic chest armor if solo, so good luck if you are still hunting any of the new season exotics. We're also seeing bonus Valor in the Crucible all week long, and Trials should return on the weekend. Then on Europa, Eventide Ruins is the Eclipse Zone this week, and we've got the Simulation Survival for the Exo Challenge. Plus the Dark Priestess is the featured Empire Hunt, and then for the Deepstone Crypt, the challenge mode this week is Of All Trades. For a brief preview of the patch that we've had today, of course update 3.111, they fixed problems that prevented Scan and Heroic VIP patrols from appearing on Europa, a problem with the Frozen in Time ornament for No Time to Explain, and of course they fixed the problem where Eyes of Tomorrow was doing less damage than intended against Yellow Bar enemies, as well as the buff to the drop rate. Then there is the huge list of changes for Stasis. So of course they've adjusted Shadow Dive for Hunters, removing damage resistance and increasing the cooldowns, but also a few adjustments to Withering Blade that'll make it generally a bit less effective. Also for Titans, Glacial Quake and Shiver Strike has been adjusted. They've increased the amount of energy cost when using those abilities, reduced damage resistance, removed AoE freeze against players on the super being cast. And then for the Warlocks, Winter's Wrath has been adjusted, so they're improving the tracking of the projectiles, increasing the size of their projectile proximity detonation, and generally increase the scale of the detonation. They have decreased penumbral blasts damage against players, but fixed the problem where Ice Flare bolts would try and switch targets, increase the target acquisition of that, and increase the turning speed of Ice Flare bolts so they can more effectively hit nearby targets. They've also decreased the amount of super energy refunded when cancelling Chaos Reach for Warlocks. And then there are a series of changes to the Duskfield grenade, but also broadly Stasis crystals, where they've reduced the amount of shatter damage against players, reduced the Whisper of Chain's damage resistance, and a few other things. So if you want to check out those full patch notes, I will link them down in the description box below, but that is the bulk of the important changes. And finally, for gameplay stuff, for the Dreaming City this week, the Ascendant Challenge is going to be in the Forfeit Shrine. This one is found via the Garden Evisilla, so if you are completing any of those challenges, I'll run some gameplay at the end of the video that shows the location for the challenge this week. And otherwise guys, that's what we have to round up inside of the video today. So, of course, a few new bits to check out in the game. Give us any of your thoughts or experiences about them down in the comment section, but if you have enjoyed the video, a rating below very much helps us out as well. And be sure to get subscribed, as I'll be keeping you posted on the world of Destiny 2 season over season. But otherwise, I appreciate you tuning in as always, and hope you have an awesome day.
Guardian down.